Hi everybody, I'm Kevin Weiss from bodyperformance.net, and today I'm teaming with Riptone Fitness Products to bring you this video on how to set up and perform a perfect deadlift. The deadlift looks like an incredibly simple movement at first glance. Bend over, pick up the weight, set it back down. Nothing to it. In reality, it is very complex and requires a coordinated effort from nearly every muscle of the body. Let's start from the ground up to set up your perfect deadlift. In order to pull a strong, safe deadlift, you need a solid connection to the floor. This requires a flat, thin-soled shoe with very little padding. If your shoe is too soft, it'll shift and compress when you try and transfer force to the ground. This can throw off your positioning and make the lift harder than it needs to be. A dedicated weightlifting shoe, although solid and flat, has a raised heel. You do not want this for deadlifting, as it can put more weight on the ball of your foot when you begin to push off the ground. This can cause the bar to drift away from the body, which is never a good thing. Next, we need to look at bar position in relation to your shins. From the bottom of the deadlift to the top, the bar should have light contact with the legs the entire time. People can run into an issue though if they set up with the shins contacting the bar before they reach down to take their grip. If they do this, the slight push forward of the shins when they bend down will push the bar forward and away from the legs. If the lifter does not correct this and pull the bar back in, the lift will be started over the toes, which is both inefficient and dangerous. By setting up with the bar an inch or so away from your shins, you can bend down and address the bar, and your shins will be making light contact but not enough to push the bar away. Now that your feet are in the correct position, we need to get your hands on the bar. A simple way to do this is to push your hips back and bend your knees slightly while keeping your arms straight while you descend. If you keep equal pressure through your feet, you'll reach the bar in balance with the bar gently touching your shins. If you try to squat down to the bar, you'll have a hard time reaching it and your weight will be on your heels. This results in a hip position that is too low. If you push your hips back, but do not bend your knees at all, you'll end up far too bent over and your hips too high. This does not allow you to use your legs to drive the bar off of the floor and puts way more stress on your lower back. We are looking for a happy medium here. A balanced position at the bottom that allows you to drive with your legs and then extend your hips for a strong lockout. Now that we are set to lift, we need to get the bar moving off of the ground. This is where your quads need to work to push hard off of the floor. We need to treat the start of the deadlift like a leg press, more than trying to stand up by straightening your back. If you concentrate on pulling the bar off the ground with your upper body, your hips will rise and your back will round. The angle of your back needs to stay nearly the same from the start position until the bar reaches the top of your shins. At this point, your shins should be vertical. If your knees are still bent at this position, your back has gotten vertical too early and you will have a hard time getting past your knees. If your shins are vertical too early, you are lifting more with your back than you need to. This not only limits how much you can lift, but makes the lift more dangerous. Once the shins are vertical, it's time to begin extending the hips. This is what brings your back to vertical and completes the lift. If you try to bring your back vertical without extending your hips, the knees are likely to rebend and the lower back will be put in a dangerous position. Keep your back flat as you push your hips towards the bar and continue to push your feet hard into the ground. These cues will ensure a strong finish with knees locked, hips extended, and shoulders back. Now that we have lifted the bar, we have to set it down. You would think gravity would take care of this, but proper technique has to be used to set you up for the next rep. We need to reverse all the steps that we just went through. The hips must begin to push back as the bar lightly travels down the front of the legs. This step continues until the bar has passed the knees. At this point, the shins must still be vertical. With the bar being clear of the knees, they can start to bend until the bar is back on the floor. That is how I'd like to see it done, but usually I see one of two scenarios. Often people bend their knees first because they want to maintain a vertical back. They assume this is the best position, but that is incorrect. By bending the knees first, you are blocking the bar's path. This forces you to move the bar away from your body to get around your knees. Then they continue to bend the knees until the bar reaches the ground. This leaves the bar way out in front of you and your hips way too low. A terrible position to start your next rep from. The second scenario is not much better. This is when people don't bend their knees at all and just simply push their hips back as far as they can and then finish to the floor with the lower back. This also results in a terrible position to start your next rep from. Hips too high, back too horizontal. If you make your deadlift a mirror image of itself, both picking it up and setting it down, you will have the most successful and safest deadlifts possible. Adding wrist straps and a lifting belt bring another layer of safety on top of perfect technique. I'm Kevin Weiss from bodyperformance.net, teaming with Riptone Fitness Products. Hope this helps you out, and I'll talk to you again real soon.